Sometimes the people who seem the happiest are the ones fighting the hardest battles inside. You see them smiling, making jokes, showing up to work, acting like everything is fine. But deep down, they're barely holding it together. Depression doesn't always look like someone crying in bed all day. Sometimes it looks like high-functioning adults who are exhausted, lonely, and silently begging for relief. The truth is, millions of people struggle with depression in secret. They hide it because they're afraid of being judged, misunderstood, or seen as weak. They tell themselves to just push through, pretending everything is okay, when every day feels like a quiet war inside their mind. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 things that people with depression often do in secret, the subtle signs that most people miss. And if you recognize yourself or someone you love in these behaviors, remember this: you're not alone, and there is a way forward. Segment 1. They feel constantly tired. Depression isn't just something that happens in your mind. It affects your whole body. People who live with hidden depression often wake up tired, no matter how much they sleep. It's not the kind of tired that a nap can fix. It's a deep exhaustion that sits in your bones. Every small task, brushing your teeth, cooking breakfast, replying to a text, feels like climbing a mountain. From the outside, they might look lazy or unmotivated. But the truth is, their energy is constantly being drained by an invisible battle that no one else can see. Every day, they're fighting their own thoughts, trying to stay functional while their mind pulls them down. And that constant inner fight takes a toll, physically, emotionally, and mentally. So when someone says they're tired all the time, it's not always about sleep. Sometimes it's about survival. Segment 2. They distract themselves. When the sadness becomes too heavy to face, distraction becomes a way to survive. People who are silently battling depression often fill every quiet moment with something, anything that keeps their mind busy. They scroll through social media for hours, binge-watch entire shows without really paying attention, or play games late into the night just to avoid being alone with their thoughts. It's not that they're lazy or addicted to screens, it's that silence feels unbearable. Because in silence, all those buried emotions start to surface. So they drown them out with noise, with movement, with endless scrolling. But the more they run from that pain, the stronger it grows in the background. And social media only makes it worse. Seeing pictures of people laughing, traveling, falling in love, it can twist the knife a little deeper. It makes them feel like everyone else is living while they're stuck just trying to survive. They end up comparing their pain to someone else's highlight reel, and that quiet sadness turns into something even heavier: loneliness. Segment 3. They revisit the past. There's something strangely comforting about the past, especially when the present feels unbearable. Many people struggling with depression find themselves constantly revisiting old memories, rewatching the same movies, listening to the same songs, scrolling through old photos. They go back to the moments when life felt easier, when they felt safe, loved, or simply okay. It's not just nostalgia, it's a way of escaping the emptiness of now. Those familiar shows or songs become a kind of emotional blanket, wrapping them in a version of themselves they miss. For a little while, they can pretend they're still that person, living in that moment, untouched by what came after. But living in the past, even through comforting memories, can quietly steal their hope for the future. Because the more they cling to what was, the harder it becomes to believe that something good could ever happen again. Depression convinces them that the best part of their life is already behind them, when in reality, it's still waiting to be lived. Segment 4. They dream about someday. When the present feels too heavy, the mind starts to drift toward the idea of someday. People with hidden depression often spend hours lost in daydreams, imagining a future where everything finally makes sense, where they're happy, successful, and free from pain. In those dreams, life feels peaceful again. It's the only place where hope still feels real. But there's a quiet danger in living inside that fantasy. The more they dream about someday, the easier it becomes to stay stuck today. They start believing that happiness will come on its own, that one day they'll just wake up and feel okay. But without small steps in the present, that day never comes. These dreams become a gentle illusion, comforting but paralyzing. They give temporary relief like a breath of air before sinking again. Because no matter how beautiful the fantasy is, it can't replace the hard, messy work of healing. And healing can only start in one place, here in the now. Segment 5. They send silent cries for help. Sometimes the saddest cries for help are the quietest ones. People with depression rarely shout that they're struggling. Instead, they whisper it through small, almost invisible signs. It might be a vague post on social media, a dark joke disguised as humor, or a long text they type and delete before sending. It's their way of saying, "Please notice me. Please see that I'm not okay," but most of the time, no one does. The world moves fast, and those subtle signals get lost in the noise, so they pull back even more, convinced that no one would care if they truly opened up. The truth is, these silent cries are not about attention, they're about connection. They come from someone who desperately wants to be understood but doesn't know how to ask for help without feeling like a burden. If you ever notice someone joking a little too often about being done or tired of everything, pause for a second. That might be their way of reaching out, quietly, hoping someone will finally listen. If any of this sounds familiar, take a deep breath. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're just human, carrying more weight than anyone should have to bear alone. Depression has a way of convincing you that you're beyond help, that no one would understand, that it'll always be this way. But that's the illness talking, not the truth. There is a way forward. Healing doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean pretending to be fine. It means slowly learning to ask for help, to rest, to speak your truth without shame. You don't have to fight this battle in silence anymore, and if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it too. Because sometimes a small reminder that we're not alone can make all the difference. You deserve peace, you deserve healing, and most of all, you deserve to stay.